Ladies and gentlemen, episode 9, right? Episode 9.
That's what we are.
Justin, Matt, Dre, Kyle, Alex, and a special guest, Marco from the Benchwarmers FC. We will add your Instagram, Facebook, and everything else on the whatever that's called. What is that thing called, Dre?
Description.
Sure.
The show notes.
Show notes.
as I
Show
call them.
notes. That's what it's called. Yes. We're gonna go around and we will talk about what you're drinking as usual. I will start off with nothing. Go on, man.
Again.
I don't
So,
have-
Justin, you realize the first word of our podcast is, the second word is pints.
Well, the second word would be and.
The second word is and.
Third word would be
The
pint.
third word is pints, and you don't have one.
Wet Ticket Brewing Company happened to take a nice. It's Christina and I. We walked there this weekend because they did local can pickup. Friendly reminder to support your local brewing company. We took a nice walk. It was a nice hour walk. We walked around Rawway and we picked up a couple 6-packs of Wet Ticket. I am currently drinking the One-Way Ticket, which is a different style New England
Oh, I roll.
IPA. And yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. It's very good, and I feel even better because I'm supporting a local brewery, and I feel even better because I walked there and I didn't drive.
There you go.
Dre, what are you drinking?
so-
Goddamn kid and his cute stories every time about beer.
It's the same brewery as the first time also. Still keeping it classic with a Heineken, mainly because I just got home from my girlfriend's house and have not had time to go to the liquor store, so I had Heineken left over, and the Heineken's what I'm drinking.
There you go.
And I can't
Kyle.
complain.
Kyle.
Well, anybody who listens to this who knows me, or any of you that know me, you have 3 guesses what I'm drinking, and the first 2 don't count.
TBR.
PBR.
No, it's not PBR.
Yep. There it is.
Oh,
There it is.
Ah,
There
you
it
got it.
I thought we were out of PBR.
I had a Yingling, but I finished it because Matt's story took way too long.
It's very true.
First of all, Alex, you
What?
never in that household you're never running out of PBR. It's in a she shed.
It's in the sheesh.
You know what's funny is that literally today we went into the basement. I saw like a bunch of my stuff moved that was in the shed down there, and my first reaction, I'm like, he's just gonna put more beer in places. Like he's made room for more beer in the shed. All the car parts
Shit
in the
out of my
basement.
way. I got
Yeah,
beer.
it's like
put
yeah,
here.
all the
How do
big
you know I don't have beer hidden in your car parts?
Oh.
There you go.
I was about to say, I'm assuming that Kyle is more prepared for running out of beer than he is like this current like issue we having. Like you're gonna run out of food, but Kyle will never run out of beer.
I don't know what I'm doing for dinner tomorrow. I know what
Yeah.
I'm drinking tomorrow.
All right, Alex, what do you got?
God bless this
Ah,
country.
you already
Walk
know.
away with something new.
Nothing new. Jameson ginger ale.
There you go.
Down to the last bottle. I'm really sad about that.
Oh, no.
No.
How'd you let that happen?
It's a liter. Don't be that sad.
It's 1.4 actually, or 1.6, something along those lines. But yeah, it's my last one until I go and buy
Alright.
2 more.
All right, Marco, what do you got today?
Marco, what are you drinking?
Yeah, what are we drinking, man?
I'm a big whiskey drinker.
There you
Alright.
go.
So for tonight, I decided to go with a new one. It's called Eagle Rare. It's a bourbon whiskey. It's from Kentucky.
Nice.
There you
Very
go.
Nice. I've
It's
heard
actually,
about that.
so it's whiskey with ginger ale.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Love it.
Oh,
So,
So
Marco,
you're-
Marco
so-
and Alex are
Right
friends
now.
already.
So when this episode is done, Marco, you're gonna see someone slide right into your DMs. His name is gonna be Alex, and his name is gonna be Alex, and he is gonna request your friendship for life.
I'll bring the ginger ale and the ice cubes.
There you
There you
go.
go.
magical.
Ah, that's great. That's great.
All right. Well,
All right.
now that we have 2 Arsenal fans here, Matt's going to run through a couple questionnaire questions of some sort, some wild firing brigade shots of questions to Arsenal fans, and I will sit back and drink water and listen.
Well, actually,
Alright.
before we start get started with that, Marco, do you want to just introduce yourself a little bit and your background with soccer, with teams
Oh,
you support,
sure.
that kind of stuff?
Of course.
Justin, how rude that you don't properly introduce
I'm
our
gonna
guest.
head
You know
out.
what?
God
You know
damn
what?
it,
We
Justin.
can just dive in straight into it. It's not a problem. All right. So my name is Marco. I am part of Benchwarmers FC. Part
My
of the
favorite
Bench.
podcast. My favorite podcast.
Matt, we appreciate tremendously, all 6 of us, how much you have supported us. So thank you very much. I'm part of a crew of 6. I'm known as the interrupter because I enjoy interrupting people when they're mid-sentence. So I'm very sorry if I do that today.
Oh,
No, please do it.
Another
Especially
Matt.
Matt.
I was about to say, don't worry, you're just doing what I do. So at this point, no one is talking besides Marco and I. That's it. Deal with it.
And then if we go to my team, so in this order, I'm a Real Madrid fan first, an Arsenal fan second, and a NYCFC fan third. Any other team I will support, follow, maybe for a season or two, depending on the league. But for the most part, those are my three teams.
Nice.
And again, starting with Real Madrid. So that's my background. So yeah.
All right. Now, what was that first question we had there, Justin?
We're gonna go to Arsenal first, though. Not
No,
the
I was about to
obvious.
say. So I'm gonna ask a couple
Not the
questions,
Yeah,
Arsenal related, because I feel like Arsenal nowadays, with everything going on, are Wenger in, Wenger out, Wenger here, Wenger there. Arsenal doesn't get enough love, and I feel like Arsenal deserves some love.
No, they
Still, the only ever Premier League team to go completely undefeated. Okay, let's shout out to the Watford gods.
Oh yeah. What was it?
Arsenal's
3-0?
MVP.
Yeah, it was 3-0.
Marco, you have no idea. I have Kyle blowing up my phone that day because I walked away. Because I'm gonna be honest here. When Liverpool's playing Watford, I'm like, this is a game I don't really need to watch.
That's pretty much right.
And he goes, this scoreline confuses me. What? So I walk over to the TV and I just see 3-0, and I'm like, this doesn't. What?
Yeah,
What's going
it
on,
makes
eh?
sense. I
Dude,
remember exactly where I was at that day too.
That's perfect. It's like something tragic that happens in the world, but no, it's the day we all remember where we were when
Every
Liverpool.
Arsenal fan,
The day
every
that the
Arsenal
world,
fan remembers
every
where they
Arsenal-
were
I think
when a
every
team
fan
that
out
wasn't
there-
Arsenal beat Liverpool.
Kyle said it best. Watford is Arsenal's best player this year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I spent the last half of that game just watching the score box, waiting for it to change, like there's a mistake or something.
So the first question I'm going to dive into, and I kind of just talked about it. Where were you on the entire Wenger out, Wenger in kind of debacle? Because it seemed like for a couple years it kind of dragged out a little bit, and I felt like there were a lot of people who were one way, a lot of people who were another way, a bunch of people who were just like, oh my God, just something happened. Like, where were you both when it came to like that specific situation?
I was on the boat that it was time. I actually think, and I appreciate everything that Wenger did for Arsenal, but I think he overstayed his welcome. He stayed an extra 2 years that he had no need to stay. He should have left 2 years prior. By the time he left, I felt like okay, about time. But I feel like his replacement wasn't who I wanted, but I took it anyway. But going back to Wenger, I think he just overstayed his welcome. We appreciated everything he did. He brought a new football style to England. He gave us the Invincibles, and he gave us several FA Cups.
In my opinion, I mean, you go through the top managers in Premier League history, which I would love to talk to on another episode at some point. Arsene Wenger's got to be in the top, three? Like, I really can't. I'm going to go Sir Alex first because, duh.
It's not this episode, Matt.
I know, but I'm
The
just
Man
like,
United fan picks Sir Alex first. I'm so shocked.
We'll talk about this on another episode, but Kyle, really, who else would go before him?
Another episode, Matt.
But Kyle, what are you?
I think
where were
Jose
you?
Mourinho would be right up there as my favorite Man United coach ever.
You didn't ask who I thought the second greatest Premier League manager was, so you go back to your Wenger out comments, okay?
So during this whole thing, I think Wenger was one of those situations where I was never on the Wenger out boat. I don't like to go right to the coach when things go wrong. I think the team had started to make a decline long before we had Emery or Arteta or anything like that. And I really question how much of what's been going on was really his fault or not. So
to me, it kind of seems
I
like
just never jumped on that train.
like he was able to patch the Band-Aids in the right spots at the right time, and then once he left, the next guy didn't know which Band-Aid covered which hole, and it just
Exactly.
kind of shit the fan
Exactly.
after
But
that.
how much do you think the downfall of Arsene Wenger dealt with? I hate to say Arsenal's extremely famous for a piss poor board of executives, but all I hear all
You're not
day
wrong.
from anything Arsenal related is how horrible the Kroenke family is to Arsenal and how they strictly run this team as a business for profit and nothing more, where they don't invest where they need to actually invest. They just bring in the guy who they think is going to sell the jerseys. But when the coach isn't doing something right, the fans just immediately turn on him. Like, what do you guys think about that?
I'll interject really quick and then I'll open it up to Marco. But I'm pretty much in agreement with that. It's now I'm not sure how much of this is them and how much of this is this guy or that guy, but you're just left with a team where Aubameyang clearly wants out. Our captain Granit Xhaka threw his shirt and armband, was just fed up with everything because the fans are clearly done with it.
But I'm not.
You
I
have all
can't-
these guys that don't want to
can't-
be there. You have Mesut Ozil, who everybody's saying is out of form, yet doesn't get any minutes anywhere to try and prove that he's not or prove that he is or anything. It's just a boatload of a mess, and it doesn't seem like anything's being done.
The only thing I have with that, like to interject with that, is I can't put that on the board. Like,
No,
like
I'm not.
that-
I just like
I
I
was about
said,
to
I
say,
don't
like,
know
that
whose
would
fault is what.
I
I'm
was gonna
definitely
say
not.
that seems like a poor football culture, and the culture starts in the locker room with the coaching staff. I mean, Ed Woodward's not coming down and fueling Paul Pogba, the whole Paul Pogba problem in the United dressing room. So I really can't imagine that Mesut Ozil not being in form and Granit Xhaka throwing his armband
No,
across
of
the
course
field.
not. Of course not. But I think it started with them long before Emery even came in. And I think we'll find out this upcoming transfer window at what gets done, who leaves, who comes in, at what the board is willing to do, if anything.
So Marco, what are you thinking here with all this?
All right, so I think the board is has a lot to be blamed on. I think it started even before Wenger left. The 2 years before that I'm talking about, he tried. He could patch as much as you want, but if you don't have the players to back you up, then there's really not much you can do. Now, 6 months before he left, they finally said, okay, whatever, I'll give you Aubameyang. But that didn't really help. And Emery comes in. He asked for stuff, which he didn't get back. He didn't get. And with Emery specifically, I had the issue that as much as I gave him the benefit of the doubt, I'm not one to say, I don't like how he plays in the first 10 games. I think he should be fired. No. I'd say give him his time. Give him his time. Let him show what type of football he wants to play, what kind of team he wants to assemble. And if by, let's say, 2 years nothing happens, then yes, let him go. But until then, let's give him time. The board promised and didn't deliver. They gave him a couple of bucks, but not enough. And then when they did, I think he already had lost the team. The team wasn't backing him up because they didn't understand his style of football. And if you look back at the games, there's a lot of games that you were like, the fuck is he doing? Like, really? Like, why are you placing this person there? Why are you not using this person? That was at the time that Torreira was really good, and most of the time he was in the bench and Guendouzi was coming in. So small things like that caused him to be let go. And plus, again, the team wasn't behind him anymore. Now, moving to Arteta, I think he is the future. I sincerely think that he is. Up to the point that when the whole corona made us stay indoors and get quarantined, I think he was really trying to test out different types of players. And what he was doing is, I think that he already knew that if he was going to fight for sixth, that's as much as he was fight for to fifth or sixth place. I don't think he knew that he was even trying to at least make it to the top four. But I think what he was trying to do is see who's going to keep for the next year and make sure that the young kids were going to be there. Using everybody from Nelson to
that left back. That's Saka,
Miles.
right?
Saka. He's not even a left back. He's a left wing, but he was used as a left back because they had no other option. They
Dre,
told him, hey, go there, and that's it.
Dre, where have you heard the story of a left wing that, oh, hey, we don't have left backs right now. Get your ass back there.
We had a left back, but the left back had to play at center back because we were out of center backs.
No, I'm talking-
Alphonso Davies takes
Alphonso
over.
Davies.
Right, because Alaba wasn't injured. Alaba had to take over because all of our center backs were injured. So Alaba moves to center back, and then we put the young guy in left back, and he just flourishes.
Well,
But you guys both kind of briefly mentioned the next question that we had.
I was about to say, go ahead, Dre.
You could just kind of finish off quickly because you both mentioned it, but what do you guys feel, how do you feel that Unai Emery did, and then what are your outlooks on the future with Mikel Arteta? Do you guys support him, and how do you think he's going to do in the future?
I like the way you said that.
I don't think Unai Emery was all bad. I think he had his moments. I think
Especially
he
in the
tried
press
to.
conferences, giving.
Oh
those
yeah,
wonderful
100% press conference. Yeah.
Good evening. Good evening.
I think he tried to do what he could with what he had. Clearly, it wasn't enough. He wasn't given enough. I will never hate him though, because he did tell Mustafi to pack a bag. So like, I love him for that at least. Arteta, I agree with what Marco said. I think he's the future. I think coming from like Man City, learning under Pep Guardiola, I think that's gonna bring a lot, and I think he's in a place where he can start moving forward if the board will, work with him.
Gotcha.
I mean, it comes down to the players. You saw the whole shock up situation. I think happened under Emery.
Yeah.
Mustafi not playing properly or not playing at all happened under Emery.
Mm-hmm.
Because with Arsene Wenger, he was good. He's a World Cup champion. The whole Ozil situation also comes from Emery. I think that there was a lot of misunderstandings in the locker room, and he was a big part of it. Now, I don't completely blame Emery, but I just think that his style of football just did not come across with these guys.
He wasn't the right fit.
No. Now, moving over to Arteta, you saw the whole team just kind of like woke up. Xhaka wanted to play again. He was about to leave in the winter transfer, and he didn't leave. He decided to stay with Arteta, and he was doing phenomenal to the point that I was hoping that he would play every game. He didn't need to be captain. That's perfectly fine. They took him away from that, and he should never ask for it. But as a player, he needed to play. Mustafi, I think he got injured towards the end of the whatever we stopped playing.
I believe so.
And he looked good, like to the point that he was saving our asses sometimes. And then Ozil, for the beginning of Arteta's run, he wasn't playing. Little by little, he started bringing Ozil in because he's like, all right, if you want to be an ass, then you know what, you can ride the bench. Or do you want to play and then show me that you want to play? And I think Ozil finally did. And then you started seeing that Ozil, I don't want to say the old Ozil was back, but we started seeing glimpses of it.
Well, like shades of that, yeah.
Like something that I always see, and I see it all the time with Paul Pogba at United. I feel like it's an attitude problem. I feel like some of these guys walk around with this like arrogance where it's like, yes, we get it. On your best day, you're probably one of the better number 10s in all of football, but soccer players in general across the world need that reality check of, well, hey, when was the last time Mesut Ozil had his best day? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, I feel like you see a Mesut Ozil and you just see the character, like you see him joking around with other teammates on the bench laughing when you guys are down 2-1. And it's like, is that really, like, if I'm the coach and I see one of my players laughing and we're down 2-1 with 10 minutes left in the game, am I bringing on the guy who's cracking jokes?
Oh, no.
That's not what I'm doing. I feel like it's an attitude problem. You need to prove that you want to make an impact on this team. The one thing I don't think helps the entire Ozil situation isn't he bringing in like plus $400,000 a week?
Yes.
To ride the bench, yeah.
Yeah, so that was an issue, but it's not like you can say, hey, I'm going to stop paying you because...
Oh, no, I know that. Trust me, we've already had these jokes about Alexis Sanchez. Trust me. Ed Woodward's putting a gun to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's back. He's like, we are paying this guy $500,000 a week. put him in.
I mean, first of all, I think in Arteta's eyes is like, I don't give a crap. I don't care how much we're paying you. If you don't want to play, you're not playing.
Yeah.
And if you're not showing me that you want it, I'm not putting you in. I don't care how much we're paying. And I think it rubbed off maybe on the board a little bit bad, but at the end of the day, it is his team, and they brought him in for a reason.
But I think clearly Ozil needed that.
Yeah,
I think he needed to hear that, and I think it's helped.
I mean, I also wouldn't be surprised if this season would have ended up normal, like every other season, Ozil leaving at the end of the season. Why?
Yeah.
He's a little up there in age. I think his contract comes up in the next year.
Yeah, there were rumors that he was in talks with DC United.
I was just about to say.
I heard he was going
the
back to
Wayne
Germany,
Rooney
but-
replacement.
Come on down.
Well, I was about to say, I think the MLS would be great for Mesut Ozil. The only problem, and you go to a team like DC, he would, as Dre just said, he would be Wayne Rooney's replacement. I mean, basically there. The team did absolutely nothing in DC United to replace that position. I think that they are looking to go after another superstar to sell jerseys, because that's all good. That's all DC United's good for, is to sell decent looking black jerseys. But I think
Wow.
I don't know if he'll go, because DC United is not gonna pay him $400,000 a week.
Yeah, but
They're gonna be like, hey,
At this point, no one's gonna pay him.
I
for
think he
it.
knows he's not going to get that again.
that's not
he's-
that's not
that's-
true. There have to be Saudi leagues or
Okay,
Chinese
maybe
leagues.
maybe
Well,
China,
China can't
Saudi
do
Arabia,
anymore.
yeah.
I was like, China
can't
can't
do
do it anymore, but has anyone talked about the Saudi Arabian league? I mean, that league is
Yeah.
still
Wait,
paying.
Isn't that where Javi from Barcelona? He went to like the United Arab Emirates. He went to the Emirates,
Yeah,
right?
he went for 1 year and made like $400,000 a week, which was twice as much as he ever made at Barcelona. Like, think about that. Like,
Where do you
Listen.
go to build your brand? United States of America. I'm sure he's going to get some kind of percentage on jersey sales. He won't get the money on the upfront salary wise, but on the back end, he's going to get something.
Well,
I don't
they'll
know,
do is they'll make him part owner of the team
After-
for the time being when he's there.
Yeah,
after
sure.
after every game, Mesut Ozil has to walk down a really dark, shady alley in DC's metro area, and there's just gonna be a guy in a brief, like what are those? The
Trench
the
coats?
big trench coat, and he's just gonna hand him an envelope full of cash.
Yeah.
You did it
I
again.
mean,
Did it again.
if
All right.
Glazinic is with him, he can defend him. He's always
There
perfectly
you go.
fine.
So
right.
this is actually a question that has to do with like the transfer windows. You guys both kind of talked about already how like Arsenal's kind of dropped the ball here or there on past transfer windows. With all the rumors circulating about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang not knowing about the future of Lacazette, and you haven't seen like the real Pepe that you saw on the YouTube videos when you were looking him up before he got linked to Arsenal. Where do you guys think Arsenal, like what direction? I know they're going to I know that because of Arteta, they're starting to play more youth players. Justin and I talk about it all the time, how the youth is the key. You must play the youth. What direction do you think they're going to go in? And friendly reminder that there's this, you lose Aubameyang. I was thinking about this today. You lose Aubameyang. There is this guy from Tottenham. He scored a few goals here or there, but apparently he doesn't want to go back. Would a guy like Harry Kane fit in a place like Arsenal?
I'd rather die.
No, I don't think he fits in Arteta's way. I think Arteta's way is very close to Pep Guardiola's way, and that is pass, tiki-taka, and a lot of speed. And he does not have that.
No,
He's the type of player that holds it a little bit and needs
18-wheeler without any wheels.
pretty much.
Going nowhere fast.
So I don't see that happening when it comes to the big signings or the big questions out there, which is Lacazette, Aubameyang, and even Ozil. 2 out of 3 are leaving. If I had to guess, it's gonna be Lacazette and Ozil. I have a feeling that Aubameyang might stay for an additional year. They might increase his contract because Ozil leaves. They can pay him a little bit more.
Do you think throwing him the captain's badge was a desperate throw to try to have an emotional connection? Like, hey, we're gonna give you the captain's badge. Like, this is how important you are to us. Like, do you think that they tried doing something like that?
I mean, honestly, I think it was half that, half try to keep him there for an additional year, and half not having an actual leader on the field. Because the next person that I would have considered to be a captain would have been Bellerin, but he was injured at the time. So why give him a
Mhm.
captaincy to a person that's injured and you know when
Yeah,
he's coming back?
No, that's
So
true.
I kind of felt like if it's not going to be Shaka, it had to be Aubameyang.
I'm pretty much in agreement with you. I think you had briefly mentioned it before. Arteta had changed some people's minds. I think that maybe they can convince him to stay another year. I agree. It was probably half desperation and more so who else are we going to give it to at this point in time? I'm pretty much in agreeing with everything you're
Yeah.
saying.
So one of the questions I thought of for you guys is that lots of clubs tend to have like a very iconic attacking trio, and it seems to me like Arsenal's attacking trio should be more successful than they are. You know, you have Barcelona, you had the MSN, you have Neymar, Suarez, and Messi, and then at Bayern you had Lewandowski, Robin, and Ribéry, and a lot of teams have these like key attacking trios. With players like Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Pepe, what happened, do you think, that those three players couldn't mesh better or couldn't put up the numbers like some other well-known attacking trios in Europe?
I'll let you start with this one.
Kyle's like, I just don't want to touch this question with a 10-foot pole.
Look,
You cannot pass.
well, so for me, in my eyes, it was because you have two strikers on the field and you're making one of them play on the left side.
Exactly.
I think if you had to choose one of them, it had to be Aubameyang. Lacazette, to me, at the end of the season or towards whatever we last saw, is more like a super sub. He was coming in, he was doing the job at the end. And for me, Martinelli was the person to have on the left wing. Even though he's an actual striker, Martinelli was enjoying a lot playing on the left. And he said it multiple times. He had no problem playing on the left. And he was young enough that if you bring that in and you teach him how to play on the left, he will be that left striker type of player. So why didn't it work? It felt like Lacazette and Aubameyang had chemistry, yes, and they do play well together if we had two strikers on the field. But we're actually for a top three. And bringing Pepe in, under Emery, he didn't do much, and it was consistently being replaced by somebody else. And then Pepe, I feel like Pepe still needs a lot of guidance.
Do you think that Pepe is one of the problems I have with a lot of young superstars that get thrown in too quickly or thrown to the stardom or the spotlight too quickly, is that the expectations are kind of set too high for a kid who comes in at 17, 18, 19 years old? Everyone says this guy's going to be the next this, the next that. And do you think it is a bit too much pressure for a player that young, or do you think that he was ready for it and just didn't perform?
I think his price, how much people they paid, or they're still paying for it because they're technically still paying for him. I think it weighed a little bit on his shoulders.
Wasn't it like 72 million?
Yeah, it was something like that. And the fact that the football that he came playing compared to the EPL one is completely different. And one of the things that I have, my biggest issue with Pepe, as much as I like him, because I do like him and I think he will do well eventually with Arsenal, is that he has a bad problem of over-touching. He does too many touches and ends up losing a ball in the box. I think one or two are good, but when you do excessive ones, then you kind of lose yourself. And I think he had to go back to like smart basics. It's 1, 2, and pass instead of 1, 2, 3. Oh no, wait, 4, 5, and 6, and then oh shit, I lost the ball.
Yeah, which having a coach like Arteta that trained under Pep Guardiola for years, maybe that could fix it, because Guardiola's style is very much tiki-taka, one pass go, first touch go. So maybe having Arteta as a coach will help fix that aspect.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You have to, as a player, and mostly on the front three, you want to bring a little flair, you want to bring a little bit of yourself into the game and show what you can do. But there's times to show and times to play the game, and sometimes overshowing does affect your game.
Don't worry, when you guys
want to say it.
Don't worry, guys. When you guys sign Jesse Lingard, you're gonna have none of these problems next year.
I doubt that guy would ever leave Manchester United. I think he will live there, and he will be forever the biggest prospect you guys ever have.
I'm telling you right now,
He's a
he's
35-year-old prospect.
no. First of all,
as a 24-year-old, he's a big prospect for you guys.
what are you talking about? 24-year-olds? He's 27. He's the oldest teenager you'll ever meet.
There you go. So he is
Found the
forever
fact.
your biggest
That's how
prospect.
it's
You should
going.
be proud of that.
They stay the same age.
I just love
Oh,
the
no,
fact
right.
that like every single year he gets a little bit older, and yet in like certain people's eyes, Jesse Lingard like is 17 forever. It's like, nah, he's the 17-year-old who's gonna have an amazing career. Homie, that was a decade ago. He's 27, and his biggest accomplishment is doing the Michael Jackson moonwalk at the Emirates. Like, that's his highlight. That's his highlight. That's his peak right there.
He scored 1 goal and 1 assist, I think, the whole season last
Yep.
season.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Well, you got to
Oh,
remember,
yeah, and his-
he's still
and
young.
his-
He's only 27. He's
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's
yeah,
young.
had the
He's
future.
young.
He has a lot to give a lot for Man
exactly.
United.
Him and that Ashley Young guy, they're gonna be young forever. I mean,
Oh yeah. One of them will.
With
Oh
Inter,
my God.
maybe, not with you.
Well, it's like,
oh, let's not even
Alex.
talk. Let's not even talk about it. That's United's retirement team.
So
pretty
Kyle,
much.
what's your take on that question? If you decide to even touch it.
Yeah, there's nothing new that I want to add. I agree with pretty much all of it. I think that next year, once we see Arteta like really start to go and make his own decisions, I think that things will start to change because obviously, the front three really didn't perform under.
How long of a contract
way of
did
doing
they
this.
give to Arteta? Like how long is this contract for as a coach?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
I think it's
Okay.
3 years.
I was about to say, I think
That seems to be like the
I think
standard.
that-
now for
It's
years.
it's a
Okay.
standard nowadays. It's 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, like before we move on to our next topic, Alex and I were talking about it not too long ago, shortly after soccer stopped. I just have a problem with Aubameyang on the left wing. Like he just needs to be a striker. How is a guy who is consistently always pressuring for the golden boot in the Premier League playing as your left wing, but the guy who can't score half of his goals is the striker? I think
Speed.
Marco, you said it exactly right. Lacazette should be that option off the bench to apply speed and pressure to a tired defense. Alex Ferreira and I, we were talking about this. Like I said, it has to be weeks ago, but that's exactly like we're watching it, and it's just like it doesn't make sense that Aubameyang is a winger because then you see him, he's picking up that ball 30 yards away from goal. It's like that's not where he should be. He should be, within 10 feet of the goal. I don't know. It would piss me off.
You see, Matt, that would make too much sense.
Oh, my apologies.
So,
Therefore, Arsenal won't do it.
yeah,
sounds like the Red Bull.
pretty much.
A little bit. All right, let's get the last Arsenal question out of the way so we can jump over across the pond to the U.S. and talk some MLS action.
Oh, the answer to your last question is yes. I do have a noose ready just in case.
Jesus.
That applies for both questions.
Yeah, it really does.
So
You ever
I
see?
know-
I think I share it all the time. The Simpsons episode.
Not
of-
today, old friend.
I was about to say
Not
Mo
today.
just leans over into the corner, sees the noose in the next room. Not today, old friend.
Yep. So this is a question that I've definitely talked with Marco about before, I think, way back. And that is, do you guys see Arsenal in danger of dropping out of being a top 6 EPL club? Because if I had to speak frankly about it, I think that Leicester City is making a very, very strong argument for taking that top 6 spot. And if there's one team I'd have to drop out of it at this point, I think it would be Arsenal. Last year they did finish in 5th, I believe, so they're still in there. But do you think with their continued performance, with the loss of Wenger and that, like, do you think they're in the danger of dropping out?
I think, judging by this year, last year, I think they have. I mean, if we're talking permanently, I don't know. I'm hoping that they can capitalize and learn from their mistakes and move forward as to avoid that situation, but who knows?
For me, it's yes. This year, it kind of obvious as much as they're trying for it, and I really don't know how this year's going to end. But in the good side, if they decide to bring back the EPL for this season, by the time it actually comes back, let's say it's in June, and they run throughout the summer, a lot of our players will be back from injury. So
There you go.
the only problem is whoever we have on loan would have to leave before June, at the end of June. Sorry. Now for years to come, if they're going to be out of the top 6, no. And you brought up Leicester City. Yes, they're doing phenomenal this year, a lot better than what I expected. But also remember when they won the cup, how bad they did the next year and the year after that.
Yeah.
And the year after that. So as much as they look good, I don't think they will be a top 6 contender every year. As well as I don't think Spurs will be a top contender for the top 6 every year. Even worse if they have Mourinho under as coach.
So quick thing
All
before
right.
we switch on to the next one, from an outside point of view, with just from watching Arsenal for so many years, from not being an Arsenal fan, I think you need to give Arteta like an entire summer transfer window.
Yes.
One, you gotta figure out what he's doing. I still think they're a top 6 club. I actually don't consider Tottenham a top 6 club. And my reason why is at least Arsenal's front office give them a little bit of money. Tottenham's front office didn't give Poch crap.
And
And-
he still got him. And he still got him to the Champions League.
And he got him to a Champions League final, but they're going in. I think Arsenal's going in the correct direction. They brought in a younger coach with youthful mindset. I think Tottenham brought in an old coach to do old ways with an old team, and I think they're going in the wrong direction. So I think
And-
Arsenal would actually sneak in while Tottenham is actually on
Sliding
their way
out.
out.
So either way, Leicester replaced some team in the top 6.
Well, Leicester won a
I don't
title.
know,
Of course, they're
I'm like a Leicester fanboy, so I can't really hide
Casper
that.
Schmeichel FC.
Casper Schmeichel FC, Jamie Vardy FC.
Oh well, chat shit get banged FC.
Chat should get banged FC.
Oh
Alright,
God! So I guess we're gonna have to talk about NYCFC, aren't we?
All right,
Here we go.
Justin,
we do.
Justin, take us across
Oh,
the
he
pond.
has the scarf. Oh, that's a jersey. Hold on.
Let me just slide out of the way and reveal everything.
I didn't put it on because my room was actually very hot.
Yeah.
So I actually decided to bring all my jerseys with me. So I have my NYCFC one. I have it on my lap, but again, I'm just gonna throw them over my bed. My Arsenal
my
one,
God.
and then I had to make sure that I had to bring the one and only.
What do you
Real
got?
Madrid one.
Oh my
Oh.
God. That was, okay. Well, someone came prepared. I feel ill prepared. I just have the
As I
Red
look
Bull jacket
behind
on.
you, I feel like I came ill prepared.
Wait,
I feel like I came
Scarf.
ill prepared, guys.
Let me see
They
the
were,
Arsenal.
they were just sitting there, and
Where
they're
people
coming in
can't see
dust
what
because
we're
anybody
talking
uses it.
about. Good.
Well, I was gonna segue into it, and I was gonna talk about Marco and how he likes long walks on the beach and Mai Tais. No, but
No.
Benchwarmers FC. It's a podcast. It's our rival. No, I'm just kidding. It's another podcast that's soccer related.
If you've ever
Marco already
watched the
discussed it a
fight
little
scene,
bit.
if you've
What?
ever watched the fight scene from Anchorman, the first one where they all meet up in the alley, like
should have a
you
tour.
have like
Dre
Like,
killed a guy.
Dre killed a
Threw
guy.
the
Yeah,
grenade.
there was a guy on a horse on
Threw a
fire,
trident.
and I killed him. Dre, I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
We
Good thing you
don't
changed
talk
his
about
name to
such
Trey.
things.
Oh yeah, he for legal reasons changed his name to Trey.
Trey.
For legal reasons relating to Justin.
Sorry. Marco,
Polo.
are you fresh to MLS?
Oh, that was fantastic. I didn't even think about that, Marco. That was great. Hey, Marco, Polo.
It's part of my life, and this is the first time I'm able to use it myself. So thank you. I appreciate that.
There you go.
Am I new to MLS? Slightly, yes.
All right.
I didn't start following it until I found out about NYCFC.
Okay.
The way I found out about it is back a couple years, I want to say 6 to 8 years ago. I used to work as a pest control person. I did pest control for homes, and one of the homes that I did was a very close friend of Claudio Reina. And
Oh, damn.
he was the first one to mention it. I was servicing his home, and then he's like, "Hey, so what's up? What's going on, man?" "Ah, nothing." And then he's like, he brought something up about soccer, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm a big fan," and I started talking to him about it. And the conversation didn't lead anywhere except for just talking about soccer. And then 3 months later, I come back, and he's like, "Yeah, so I was talking to my friend, and he's getting involved with Man City and the Yankees, and thinking about bringing another soccer team to New York, and it was like, oh, it's gonna be in the USL. I was like, no, it's gonna be in the MLS. It's gonna be like a franchise, and like,
Oh,
oh, that's dope. Okay, so that's
Yo,
how
you
I
had
started
that-
to get a little bit more involvement into it and start looking it up and like how it's gonna be called. And then that's when I started finding out that they were thinking about calling it NYCFC or New York City Football Club. And little by little, I went through the whole process of seeing when they created the logo, how many logos were out there, the colors, everything. So I'm literally from the beginning. I was a fan.
Day one.
Yeah.
Dude,
Good, the
what
inside
do you-
scoop.
Yo, what are you talking about day one? This guy had the inside report. He was there on day -5.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, the inside.
like
scoop.
yeah, like yo, he was there before it was a thought. Like,
A
That's
lot of
all.
people didn't know about it. Like there was already like small like talks here on Facebook and like online and stuff like that, but it wasn't like an actual like it wasn't confirmed or they really didn't have like a concrete what's gonna happen.
Marco,
And so it took
Marco,
like a year for it to figure it out.
Marco, did you ever talk about this on Benchwarmers?
No, because every time I try to
So
say something,
this
they give me
is-
shit for it.
This is a world exclusive.
Believe me, I've tried and I've had conversations
Host
with
and pints.
I have conversations off air with some friends. They actually try to listen to me, but when I try to say this to my friends, they're just assholes and they just don't believe me.
Now the
So,
rest of the bench warmers, they're all
They
Rebel?
one is a very huge Rebels fan.
Okay.
The other one is a follower and loves to give me shit. Just that's why I think he follows more Rebels. And
We
the
all
other
have that
three, the
Yeah.
other three, like they know about it. If they had to pick a team, it's because it's local. They choose Rebels. It's not that they're like huge fans.
It's not like
Here's
they
the thing.
chose a
I
bad team either. So
I'll respect you, Marco, because you like I think that's a legitimate reason to follow a team, like finding about them at ground zero, day one, and just before they had players, because I know a lot of NYCFC fans who immediately jumped on because via Piero Lampard, all that, like all the razzle and dazzle. I respect you because before there was a logo, before there was a color scheme, before anything, you were like
let's go.
a
Let's do
team,
this.
a team in New York City. That's it. I'm in because I unfortunately have the privilege of knowing people who are like, yo, David Villa is the best striker that's ever come to New York. Bro, there's this guy named Bradley Wright Phillips who put in 100 goals, like 12 against you. Please stop
Just
talking.
saying.
I thought you were
Same.
going somewhere different with that, Matt. I thought you were
We're-
going to talk about people that had Red Bull season tickets that all of a sudden
No
are
name
repping
drops.
the red and black
Oh,
stripes.
name
We
drop.
won't name drop. We will not name drop. But yes, there are plenty of people who were like, no, I've been a Red Bull and Metro Stars fan since day one. Oh, a team that's 20 minutes closer to my house? Sure, I'll go root for them instead. I guess we should talk a little bit about
So
the
let's-
rivalry, I guess. I mean, everyone here is way too friendly about it. I feel like no one's threatened Marco's life yet.
I mean,
Man, he
do you
drinks
really
whiskey
consider
and
it
puts
a
ginger ale in
rivalry?
it.
Yeah, it's cool people, dude. I
Let's
don't
let's
wanna
start off with that. Do you really consider it a rivalry?
I'll
They're
start.
not our number one rivals. Yeah, I'll let Kyle
Hi.
take this.
I
Go ahead, Kyle.
myself consider it more of like the MLS's forced rivalry.
Yeah.
Like if you asked me,
Yeah.
our rivals are DC United. That's my bottom line. But like, so now you have rivalry week, so we can push the DC games to a Wednesday, so we could push City to a Saturday because you have to hate City. That's
Yeah.
the thing you have to do.
I just hate your stadium selection.
And it's just, I just want a fucking Saturday night DC United bus trip. I don't really care about going to Yankee Stadium again.
Here's what I'll say though. I will say that NYCFC is, I would consider, a bigger rival than Philadelphia though. DC still obviously the
Philly's
arch-
not a rival.
exactly. I mean that.
You're not our rivals.
No,
No.
Philly's not a rival. Philly's a little bleep that's on our schedule that we actually have
Yeah.
to pay attention to.
that
like-
eliminated us from the playoffs last year.
And we eliminated them from all playoff competition 2 years ago. Remember that,
I
Justin?
mean,
Doesn't
you
that
guys
sound
really
like a
to
rivalry?
live in the past, but
No,
it's okay.
I definitely think that derby games are just fun. It's exactly that. It may not be the biggest rivalry in the world, but derby games are fun, and I'm glad that we have
Well,
one.
here
Absolutely.
I'll use this as an example, and I think it's a great example because of the whole red and blue thing as well. Manchester United's biggest rival was Liverpool. We still consider Manchester City a rival because that's an in-city derby. Like, the stadiums are separated by 2.5 miles.
Mhm.
They're not our biggest rival, but I'm telling you right now, I take the City game just as important as the DC game. But like Kyle said, I think it is a manufactured
Yeah.
rivalry.
Generate money.
Like,
Come on.
I look at it, Atlanta. We were not supposed to be rivals with Atlanta. And the Red Bull and Atlanta were never meant to be rivals. And magically, Kamar is beating the piss out of Villaraba. And out of nowhere, fists start flying. Boom. Rivalry out of nowhere.
Hold up.
That is like,
Right.
those are the like rivalries that I really appreciate. Like that
Yeah.
there's actually like an underlining reason underneath it. Like, I feel like, don't get me wrong, the second I heard that, now Marco doesn't know this, but Kyle and I are also both Red Sox fans. So the second we heard that the
Sox
Yankees were getting involved in soccer, we're cracking knuckles and we're like, I got problems here.
More reason for me to cry in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Damn right.
I
I'll
mean,
always give credit. At least NYCFC doesn't start running around the stadium with their hand in their pants screaming, 27 rings! 27 rings!
But let's
Well, we
face
don't
it,
have it.
Jealous, dude. Just
let's
don't
face
be
it.
jealous. I hear a little jealousy coming from
let's
you there.
face it, there are a chunk of them that are the same people, and that would happen.
correct.
That happens in all sports, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, there's always the hooligans.
I'm happy NYCFC's in the league. I'll say
Yeah.
it. I have no issue with it whatsoever. I do think, and honestly, don't get me wrong, we play in New Jersey, but we were originally the Metro Stars. The only reason why the only reason why the Red Bulls labeled New York on us is because when they're trying to attract media attention, no one gives a flying shit about the state of New Jersey, even
Correct.
though we're about 1,000 times better than the state of New York. But I'm not even going to get into that part.
I think we discussed like when NYCFC gets a stadium and it feels more like a home. I think it can build a
Well,
little bit more of a
that-
rivalry.
But that's the
I
night
just-
that like, but that's the thing though. That's something every single like, and it's funny because they even talked about it like today. The Red Bull happened to bless all of us with the 7-0 game on their
The Red Wedding.
the Red Wedding.
Mm.
Like Alexi Lawless, like it's 5-0, 6-0 into the game, but Alexi Lawless is just looking like the camera panned into the fans, and Alexi Lawless, who even though he's been a part of the Metro Stars Red Bull family because he was one of the original people here. He even says it himself. He's like, the NYCFC fans deserve better. At the end of the day, the Red Bull, yes, they play in New Jersey, but they play in one of the best soccer-specific stadiums in the league. Wouldn't it be nice, and I know, Marco, we talked about this a little bit, and I'll let you chime in now, how much of the fact that you guys still don't have a stadium, how much does that still piss you off?
All right, so a lot of it. All right, let's go back. So, yes, it's manufactured rivalry. I think it will become a rivalry eventually. One reason is that we don't have a stadium, and that's one of the biggest issues that you guys have against us, and we have against our own team. It's because we don't have a stadium. Now, one of the biggest things that I have, the arguments that I consistently and I have with my friends about us going against Rebels going against NYCFC is that, well, at least we have a stadium. I'm like, well, yes, I understand that. We don't. And we haven't had one for the past 6 years. And it gets frustrating. And to make matters worse, NYCFC decided to play 2 home games at Rebel Arena.
Yeah,
Hey, Drake, you want to say
They,
it?
they didn't decide to. They were kind of forced into because
Well, yeah, Yankees decided
does
that
not
they weren't going
allow-
to give them the field.
No, CONCACAF does not allow
That's right.
Champions League games to be played in a non-soccer specific stadium.
Correct.
Now, is there a reason why they didn't go back to Connecticut? Because I remember there was an issue at some point, sometime where NYCFC hosted a game where Hartford, the Hartford College,
They
in
almost.
Connecticut.
I know this time around they almost did a game at St. John's University in New York, but then there's no capacity there. It's
That's
1,000
the
people.
problem. I
Yeah,
think
but
it-
the
I
thing
think
about
that's
it
the
is,
issue.
it's a Champions League game, though. I mean, Red Bull don't attract people into that stadium for a Champions League Tuesday night game against
Yeah,
Chivas Guadalajara.
They don't
Like,
attract them at all.
I think
Leave
it had
it
to be a
alone,
certified.
Justin.
I think it
Get
had
the
to be like
tarps.
a CONCACAF certified stadium or something like that.
Yeah.
And I
so.
think that one in Connecticut isn't one of them.
Funny
But-
enough, Atlanta can't play at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They had to play at Georgia Tech's college, didn't they?
Wait, why not?
Because it's not a soccer-specific
specific.
stadium, so
Wow,
they
really?
made them. Yeah, they made them actually go.
That's-
it might also
okay,
have to do
Yankee
something with
Stadium's
grass.
a
Hold on.
baseball stadium, but
Hold
like a
I
Mercedes.
But hold on,
believe it's
it-
the type of turf
football
and the
soccer
size
think-
of the
easily.
pitch, which I
I was
think is
about to
more
say-
the problem with NYC. I think it's the
I
pitch
think-
size isn't.
I was about to say. I
Is it
also
there?
think it's a grass to turf thing. Mercedes-Benz is all turf. I think you need to play at a grass field for Champions League.
Yes.
Yeah, so going back, yes. So the fact that it hurt even more, and I went to Reddit, I went to Facebook, I went everywhere to find out what people were thinking, because when I found out, the last thing I wanted to do is talk to my friends about it, because I know they were gonna give me shit. Because one of the first things I ever said to them is, why would I support a team that doesn't play in the state that they represent?
Yeah.
No, and that's a very good point.
Until it came and bit me in the ass.
I look
Yeah.
at it like all of my
Yep.
jerseys, all of my scarves, they have New York written on everything. And I get it. Like I really do get it. And I'm telling you right now, there's also a huge chunk of Red Bull fans. I've asked, Dre's asked, Justin's asked, Kyle, Alex, we've all asked. If they replaced it to New Jersey, I think two things would happen. One, more people would get excited because if you look at the New Jersey Devils are the only New Jersey team left. Like
Correct.
everyone else has left the state of New Jersey, and the Giants and Jets don't want to label themselves as New Jersey.
No.
But if you look at it, if they replace the name to New Jersey Red Bulls, I think, like I said, two things are going to happen. One, people are going to get a lot more proud. Like people from New Jersey are going to be a little bit more like, you know what? This is my team now. Like they're not New York. They're not lying to
Yeah.
anyone. This is my team now.
We might stop having fans. Like I know at the tailgates, we have a bunch of fans that come from New York and like from Long Island and stuff. Some of those might stop coming. Not the diehards, but like some fans that travel might stop coming. But I think we would definitely gain fans within the state for sure.
I was about to say
Look at
because
the
you can
support.
label them.
I was gonna say,
Go
look
ahead,
at
Alex.
the sport behind Devils. How many years have the Devils like underperformed and really shitty, but they had a huge crowd behind them.
Yeah.
Jersey people are just really proud of New Jersey,
Yeah.
and we can say that being from New Jersey.
Right.
I was
And,
about
and
to
the
say, how-
Devils.
We can literally come up with shit and we'll still be proud of it.
But how often do the Devils turn around and they label themselves as Jersey's team?
Yeah.
That would be awesome if like the Red Bull turned around and were Jersey's
Yeah.
soccer team. Boom.
It'd be
I think
great
you're going to
idea.
get a huge wave of people who are like, well, this team's from New Jersey. I bet you if you ask the common soccer mom or dad whose kid plays rec league soccer and talks about the Red Bull, I don't think they would know where Red Bull Arena is. They say New York, so they might think New York. It's too far to take the kids.
Yeah.
I agree.
No, and I like that's what I'm saying. I think you would get I think you would get a new rush of fans strictly on the Jersey pride.
Yeah, I think
But,
that's
like-
the one insult I never understood because it's like, yeah, I would nothing but love them to be the New Jersey Red Bulls. So what's your point?
Like when people like I
love
love it. Like when we go to certain stadiums as away fans and like go back to New Jersey. Like they do that chant, I go, please, I'm counting the seconds. I don't wanna be here.
It's a whole thing of New York is red. I'm like, no, it isn't. New Jersey's red because they have the Devils, they have Rebels.
The
Yeah.
I like to change this. The metropolitan area is
Anything else, the tri-state is red.
the
Yeah.
tri-state is red. You know what? I'm okay with that. If that was the common goal, if all major parties met together and it was the metropolitan area was red, that's fine. I'll put that on a t-shirt and I'll live with it. I'm okay with it.
All right.
Yeah, that's like my biggest issue is when they said New York is red. I'm like, no, technically New York is blue. Who's the one team that plays? Who are the teams that play in New York that actually represent New York? All of them wear blue.
The only thing that I
The,
think
Bu-
that
the
just
Buffalo Bills were blue.
First of all,
No.
I watch zero NFL, but I watch all the Buffalo Bills Mafia videos on Facebook and
Oh, they're
those
amazing.
guys are jumping on tables with no shirts, and the tables have gasoline and fire on top.
And they
of
were
it.
showing up for the Guardians too.
those people are a different level that I can't keep up with.
Tailgating at its finest.
That's because all you drink at tailgates is White Claw. You got to drink what they're drinking, you'll be on their level.
Yeah, you can't
Dude,
drink-
I assume
can't
that
drink
people from the
soda or
Bills
wine
Mafia are
with
drinking gasoline. I assume people are just putting gasoline just straight down in funnels at Bill Mafia's
Coming with
games.
hand
All right.
Everclear.
So,
Oh, God.
as we're winding down here, let's tackle one more topic before we finish up here. So, this is kind of moving on from the MLS here, but this is a question that all of us kind of agreed is something interesting. What current or former player do you think would make a great coach in the future? And I think I'm going to start with this just because I love my answer, and I think Marco
No.
might agree with me.
No,
No, I
you have
did
to go
agree.
last. You have to go last now.
Oh, that means I
because
can
we-
steal his answer then.
I
Yep,
call-
that's it. That's fine. Marco is the guest. Marco gets to go first.
All right. Okay, look, I'm a guest, like you said here, so I'm not gonna take Andrew's
Do
storm
it.
right now.
His well-
I-
his
I'm
well-
not- I'm not-
His
I'm not gonna do it.
well-dressed
I
his
know who he's
well-dressed
going
answer.
for. Yes, and I know who he's going for, and I agree 100%. But I'll leave it to him.
Thank you.
As much as I am a Real Madrid fan, and because the player that Andrew decided to choose was a former Real Madrid player, I decided to go in a different way. I think that a former player that will become a phenomenal coach eventually will be Iniesta,
Yes.
Barcelona.
God, I hate that man's guts. I'm sorry.
Yes. No,
He's a
100%.
great player. I can't stand
His
him
football,
because if
his
you can't tell, I'm a Dutch national team fan, and I literally remember the minute that Iniesta scored a 116th minute goal in the 2012
Yes.
The
Euro Cup
Europa, yeah.
to defeat the Netherlands in the final. And
It's-
ever since that moment,
No. That was 2010. 2010.
It was either 2010 or 2012. When they scored that goal, he scored that goal. I literally have not liked him since that moment. I respect the man. He's a great soccer player. He's a legend, really. I just fucking hate his guts because he beat the Netherlands in the World Cup final
Look,
or the Euro Cup final.
I'm a Real Madrid fan, but I'm also a Spain team national team fan. If in every World Cup, that's who I root for. Mostly because Guatemala does not have a national team, and it's really hard to root for America, mostly because they barely can make it. So I usually root for Spain. Now I was watching, and I was a fan at the time when Spain won the Euro, the World Cup, and the Euro again, and they won with 5 midfielders and 1 striker. That's how I remember it. I also remember Iniesta's goal, and I also remember how he played the game when he was in Barcelona. I feared more Xavi, Iniesta, and Messi than I ever feared Neymar, Suarez, and Messi.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm telling you right now, Messi is the player he is today because he had guys like Xavi and Iniesta.
Yeah.
So Dre, go ahead.
I'm not going last now.
No, you can go because I just didn't want. I thought Marco was going to take your guy, and I wanted to see you scramble for a second. But Marco's Marco's a top gentleman.
I wanted to be a nice guy and let him take a Xavi Alonso.
Yes.
Marco, you don't have to be nice on our podcast. You can be.
He was nice to Trey.
I mean,
You
the fact
can
that
be-
you mentioned his name, it should have ruined it already for him. But
All
it's all right.
of us are very
Mystery is out.
so we're allowed to be mean. No.
I was about to say we're allowed to be mean. This is no one's safe space. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no safe standing sections. Okay.
So, like Marco ruined for you guys, my pick is definitely Javi Alonso, and it's not because he looks amazing in a suit, no homo, but that man just looks great in a suit.
Again,
but-
Iniesta would look good in a suit. Just my eyes, a little bald, but it's all
Like
right.
I remember watching on Instagram when Bayern would have away matches, Champions League matches, and they were all traveling, and the guys all travel in their suits and stuff, and I'm like, damn, Javi Alonso looks fucking good. Anyway, Javi Alonso, I think he will make a great coach in the future because I think he's that kind of guy that understands the game is more so tactics and more so a team sport than it is individual flair, individual talent, and, superstar status. He was part of a successful Real Madrid team. He was on Liverpool for years, not when they won the Champions League or anything, but he was part of that team, and then he was part of Bayern for years where we were doing very well. I think that he has a very deep understanding of the game and has already expressed that he wants to be a coach and is doing his UEFA training and doing all the certifications he needs to become a coach. Hopefully, Bayern can get him on the academy or something now that we signed Hansi Flick as our permanent coach. Maybe throw him in the academy. I don't know where he goes, but wherever he ends up, I think that team will be very lucky to have Javi Alonso as a coach.
Alex.
I actually have 2.
Yo, you son of a bitch. I have 2 too. You better not take any of mine.
Wait. Matt's wearing a tutu?
Yes, I'm wearing a tutu. Okay.
Stand up,
First
Matt,
of all,
stand
anytime we Skype, I'm always having a tutu on. You all just can't see it.
I'm just not
You guys are wearing pants?
That's my dude.
So I actually have 2 this week. I can choose between one. Overseas, I feel maybe Marco would agree with me or disagree with me on this one. Is Sergio Ramos, captain of Real Madrid's team, incredible center back. He's extremely loyal, smart. I think he would make a great captain. And for my friends here, you're going to think there's a cop-out.
Hold on, I hate to cut you off. Sergio Ramos is 100% the guy where if someone on his team is not doing his job, he's going to beat them up.
Yeah.
You're not doing your job.
Just see him running from the sideline. Hey, get over here.
Every team needs that guy. And the teams that don't have that guy, don't do it.
I
Every
hate
team
coaches.
needs that guy, and if you don't have that guy, you sign Bruno Fernandes.
No, I'm just telling you right now, I hate the coaches who are sitting there like, come here, let me give you a hug. It's all going to be okay.
Here's another one for you. Ready? And you all know this is true. Robles as a captain.
Fuck you.
As a coach. He did an incredible
Robles.
How many goalkeeper coaches are out there? I don't know.
And most importantly, everyone can agree he would look good in a suit.
Are you joking?
Did you see him
of course
during
he
that
looks.
last
I was about to
injury?
say,
Of course he looks good in his suit.
He fits the coach model. He's
Yeah.
just
So Sergio Ramos would be like a model, an actual model coach.
Yeah.
He'll be a model first and then a coach, and I think he would kick people's ass for sure. But I also think he would have the Pep mentality.
Yep.
Robles, I really hope he does and comes and shits on NYC and New York Rebels for doing him dirty like they did this year.
Oh, no. Marco. We all, so Marco, every single week we do pick 'em. So we literally go through every single MLS game and we pick, there's going to be a winner or it's going to be a draw. We all have a gut feeling that the first Inter Miami versus Red Bull game is going to be a clean sheet for Miami. Robles, so the Red Bull are going to commit, they're going to concede a penalty, and Robles is going to run all the way up the field and take it.
Yo,
if Robles scores a penalty in front of the South Ward, I will lose my mind in the best way possible.
I'll just pass out. Someone catch
It's the only
me.
game I want them to lose.
How do you guys gonna feel when he comes up to his fans and showing an Inter Miami scarf?
I'm not ready.
He won't do it. He won't do
Okay,
it.
Here's the thing.
I think the biggest
He's
fuck
such a
guys,
class
and I
act.
really
I
hope
have
he does
no
it.
doubt that he'll still show love to the South
So-
Ward.
Yeah, I feel like he'll
Yeah, I was
whip out
gonna
a
say-
Red Bull
So-
scarf.
He'll come over
Mark-
and he's gonna ask me and Matt how we're doing, if I found a job yet. 'Cause
So,
every time I
Mark-
see
so-
him, he
Matt,
always
when's the
asks.
wedding?
Yeah.
He's gonna tell
I
Matt
might
to
invite
invite
him.
the wedding.
So Marco, so the Red Bull, throughout the season they do Thursday nights with the Red Bull where you can actually, it's either at a liquor store or a bar or something, and you can
It's
sit there, have a,
I want to go.
so you can get stuff autographed, you can
It's
take
a
a
meet and
photo
greet.
with them.
It's
It's
a meet
really
and greet.
cool. Luis Robles will always remember you, whether he's met you one time or 25 times. The last time I ran, the last one we went to, he remembered my name, which always scares the crap out of me. He's like, "Hey, Matt, how are you? How are things?" And that was the scary one. Number 2 was, "So how's wedding planning going?" And I'm sitting here like,
This guy
"Bro,
fucking
what?"
Like this?
He's like, "Yeah, dude, I'm just sitting here like," and he goes right up to Justin. He doesn't remember Justin's name this time. He goes, "I remember you're looking for a new job. How's the job hunt coming?" And Justin's sitting there like, "What?"
Still going.
Oh, no,
Still.
Robles is so. The reason why I don't think Robles would do the Red Bull dirty, like their fans dirty, is because the last meet and greet he did, The Red Bull had nothing to do with it. He already was an Inter Miami player. He actually did his own player meet and greet where he teamed up with like a suit shop that was in like North Jersey. It's about an hour from Rutgers, north. And he literally, it was Robles who set it up. Robles is like, I want to do a final goodbye to the fans. Come meet me. I'll sign all your stuff. I'll take all the photos. I'm going to be there for like 6 hours. I just want to see you. So I think that's the reason why he wouldn't do us dirty. He probably wants to do the organization dirty.
So would I.
But I don't think he wants to do the fans dirty. I don't think he's going to do anything disrespectful to us.
I mean, it's wishful thinking at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
doesn't mean that he's going to do it. I actually agree with you. He's not going to do it.
I think he wants to turn around. I think he wants to turn around and score a hat trick against the Red Bull.
I mean, if you want to go and give Red Bulls the finger and then say sorry to the fans, I'm okay with that.
Well, I think it's already been discussed, at least through the supporter groups. It's already been discussed that like when Robles comes around and when BWP comes around, there's going to be some form of tribute or some form of like thank you from the South Ward, because the South Ward, we do our own things. We don't team up with the Red Bull and do anything. The Red Bull just opened the gate and let us come like a night or two before and do our TIFO. They don't get like, as I think like their one guideline is it just can't be anything like vulgar or offensive. So like, you know, we do something like funny against NYCFC, DC United, Atlanta, but like we did something really good for Dax McCarty when he came back. We did like a tribute number 11. What was it? Kyle, what was it? It was like Metro Forever or something like that, like Metro Legend Forever or something like
Metro
that.
Forever, I believe.
So it was like the fans. These players will never do the fans dirty because the fans want to kill the team for doing what they did to the like. Trust me, Luis Robles.
We talk more shit on our Red Bull than we do NYCFC, and
I was about to say, trust me. I was about to say, I'll talk all the shit about Red Bull. Trust me, I have to watch this crap every single freaking week while Kyle Duncan defends my right wing.
All right, Matt, who's your coach?
So I have two. I thought I was going to be the only original, but Alex has to be a party pooper over there.
You're not going to like mine, then.
If we're talking stateside, Dax McCarty, the Ginger Ninja. His football IQ is great. He seems like the type of guy where if you give him attitude, he'll like give you attitude right back. But at the same time, a lot of former teammates talk about how commanding he was in the locker room, how he said the right things at the right times. He always made sure his players were on the right mindset. I really don't remember a time where when Dax McCarty was the captain of the Red Bull, or even when he was the captain of Chicago, or as he is now the captain of Nashville. He's the type of guy where when he starts talking, you shut the hell up and you listen. I guess Europe, but I guess it could be kind of anywhere as well. If he can get his ass out of prison, which I think they found out today he's out of prison, I think Ronaldinho would be a great coach, because I think he's the type of guy who, like, it doesn't matter what the scoreline is. He's like, it's okay, guys, we got this. We got this. More strikers, more forwards.
Ronaldinho would be the one coach that would party harder than his starting 11.
Sell tickets, that's for sure.
Oh, I'm telling you right now.
He wasn't at the game. He got arrested for sneaking into the country to coach the game.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why. I think Ronaldinho's the type of guy who, like, he's not going to be that coach. He's not going to be your Sam Allardyce. He's
interest in being a coach.
Oh, I think Ronaldinho's only interest is trying to find a way back into soccer so that he can continue playing. Because honestly, from hearing that he's scoring, double hat tricks in Panama prison, I think he's turning around like, I got to get my ass back on.
Probably some of the best players out there, and they're in prison right now. So
yeah,
probably.
I don't know. So Justin or Kyle? I mean, either one of you two want to go?
Go ahead,
Kyle. Next. I too have two.
This is okay.
I guess Marco.
Mine's gonna be.
I'm gonna think of another one right now.
Mine's gonna be quick though. So my fanboy pick is gonna be second, and I'm pretty sure Matt already knows who I'm about to say. But
Mustafi.
No. First I have a current Serie A player, Miralem Pjanic. If you watch Juventus, he is the brains of that team. He runs that offense. He knows everything. His knowledge is insane. I think he would be a great coach one day. And number 2, my fanboy pick, because he's already left the organization as of last year, Francesco Totti should definitely be a coach somewhere.
The only thing with Totti is if he coaches anyone else but Roma, it's just not right.
I don't think he's on good terms with them because
He's
they
not.
basically
Actually-
forced him out. He didn't have anything to do with the team, and they blamed it on him, essentially.
I think.
No, I
if
get
I'm
that.
mistaken-
I just can't imagine him being with anyone else.
I think
get,
that's
like,
why he won't. I don't think he can either.
I think one, I think he said he wouldn't like to be a coach, and 2, I think he's an ambassador for Real Madrid. Like something came out not too long ago that it said he finally made it to Real Madrid after 10, 20 years since when they actually wanted him on the team, and it was because he was becoming an ambassador for them.
Okay.
But that's it. That's basically it. And when I said I was going to give a second coach, that's actually what I thought of. So I'm a little upset that he took it away from me. But it's all right.
hey, great minds think alike.
Hell yeah.
Justin, if you're building your team, who is your coach?
I was gonna say Robles, but at the end of the day, I think he's too nice of a guy. I don't know how.
Are you joking? Have you heard him scream at Alex Wheel?
Oh, I'm just
Alex,
kidding.
this
I'm
is
just
not
kidding. He yells at Tim
fucking
Parker. He
fun.
yells at Tim Parker and screams at everybody. I
No,
love
first of all, Luis Robles makes average save, immediately turns around, yells at entire defensive
team?
line.
He yells at the whole team.
Wait, nobody's going to talk about how Reese Buckmaster should probably be a coach one day?
Okay,
Why, so
guys,
you
I'll
Just
see you
had to
later.
get Dre started.
Hey,
You just
hey, guys.
had to get Dre
I'll see
started.
you
There he
later.
goes. Bye, Dre.
And
Bye,
Dre is
Dre.
out. Okay, Justin, wrap it up.
Are we doing what's pissing me off this week?
Why not? Everyone, quick round robin on what's pissing you off this week.
Nothing. I'm in good terms with my life.
No, screw you. Absolutely
No
not.
more of
Justin,
this.
what
I'm happy
No,
bullshit.
no, no. We're not allowed to be happy. I'm physically confined to 2 different places. It's either job sites or my home. Be pissed off about something.
All right. Well, see, I wake up in the morning. I drag my ass out of bed around 11 o'clock. I go outside in my backyard, play a little golf, fuck around. Then I play video games the rest of the day and kind of
So-
look for jobs, even though there's no jobs available right now.
Okay,
That's
so
it.
Justin is pissed off at Chris Armas. Alex, what are you pissed off at?
I'm not pissed off.
Have you guys ever seen the show Community?
Yes.
I've
You
heard
have?
of it.
All right, so I just got into it because, this whole quarantine bullshit, and I binge watched 6 seasons of this
Still
to
waiting
watch
for my movie.
the worst closing to a show I've ever seen in my life. I'm not going to ruin it and say anything specific.
It's Childish Gambino's fault for leaving the show.
Man,
the show started to fall
this
apart.
His name is Donald Glover?
That's
No.
exactly when the show started to fall apart. But it was just a terrible ending to a really good show, and I'm really disappointed that I not wasted.
Do
but
you understand
like,
Chevy
3 to
Chase
4
did not
weeks
want to be on that show after like the 2nd season?
Marco, you are our guest. I just didn't want to put you on the spot and make you go first. So, Marco, what is pissing you off this week?
Myself. The only reason why I say that is
Because you're an NYCFC fan.
No,
I'm
well,
gonna
I
say-
love myself
I'd
for
be
that.
upset too. I
I'm
understand.
so sorry.
I
It
love
was
myself for
there.
that.
No, Marco,
you guys
I'm
should
sorry.
Be pissed off about that. But the reason why I'm pissed off myself is because I have a very nice 850 cc motorcycle out back in my garage, and I still haven't used it this year. And it's actually very nice out right now.
It
I was
is.
about
It's
to say,
been nice
I was
all
about to say,
week,
Marco,
man.
this is, and what better social distancing yourself than getting on a motorcycle?
The
and-
roads
Riding
are
on your own.
empty.
All the boys are out.
I was about to
The
say, I'll give a
roads are
credit where
literally
credit.
empty.
No, I'll give a credit where credit's due. Certain job sites I have to drive to are about 30, 40 minutes away. I'm getting there in 20 minutes flat, and I'm sitting here like, God, this is gonna fucking suck when people start getting back on the road.
Yeah.
Dre, what's pissing you off this week?
So, what pisses me off? When people who've seen a show once or twice or 3 times decide, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to watch the same show again. I get it. There's shows out there. There's things you want to watch. But, like, there reaches a certain point where there's so much other good content out there. And when you want to watch the same show for the 4th time, I'm like,
Kyle's face right now is
how many
fantastic.
times can
Yo,
watch
if
The
you
Office?
want to just take
Kyle's
shots
the
at me, just
king.
say it, dude. You're
He's
taking,
the
like,
king
He's
of
you
taking
know,
shots. He's taking
Dude.
shots at all of us, dude.
On. So
Yeah.
everyone here has seen South Park, right? Everyone's here
Yeah.
has seen South
Kyle's
Park.
probably
So
seen it.
Kyle's bat dad. Kyle just took off his shirt and he's looking at Randy Marsh like, "You want to go?"
I
I
mean,
Bell.
I didn't hear no bell.
How many times can you watch The Office? How many times can you watch
I mean,
all these
background
goddamn
noise.
shows over and over and over?
I was about to say, I agree with Marco. It's more background noise. Like, honestly, like I think I've
Okay,
rewatched
so-
Scrubs now like 25 times, and that's actually not even a joke.
That's a conservative estimate.
No, I put
Background
it on
noise
for
is
background noise.
nothing.
It's nice to watch. I know when the funny parts are coming, when the not funny parts are
Yeah.
coming. I bring up my phone. I do social media stuff. Maybe I go to my laptop, do some stuff there. But like,
As someone who went to film school and worked on movies and showed stuff, like I
you went to
enjoy-
film school,
Men's
didn't watch
flexing.
Star Wars. Hold on.
I
You went
watched
to
it
film-
after film school. What's
Wait,
your
yes. Who goes to film school? So who goes to get an education for film but never watches Star Wars?
Hey,
Yeah, that's right. So
watch-
Alex has something to be pissed off about next week. What I'm pissed
I don't
about
want to do
this
this
week.
podcast with him anymore.
So what I'm pissed off about this week because Justin's giving me the death
I've
stare,
seen
like,
Star
dude,
Wars.
let's go. We are over time.
All right.
I'm pissed off at the EA servers, which is like I think I'm hearing the same thing about Xbox and
say
PlayStation
that
and stuff
every
like that.
week.
You know we're all home. Stop
Fix it.
crashing, okay?
It's not their fault.
They
It
can't.
is their fault.
Real game company.
You know we're
EA
all gonna be on. You know we're all gonna be on right now.
We're making
Okay,
money right
work
now.
on it. I'm
EA
done.
You
Just,
gotta,
Well,
you gotta
download
download DLC to
will
get on the
try
server.
Bandwidth out
now,
there.
I don't want to hear any rebuttal about it. Justin, close it up.
And that'll do it. Episode 9 in the
Wasn't bad anyway.
books. Thanks for
Hey,
Enjoy,
joining.
Marco.
guys.
First of all, Marco, thank you so much for coming on. You are more than welcome to come on.
I love it.
You are
I
more
love
than welcome to come on anytime you want. I'm hoping that the second we get NYCFC versus Red Bull, we'll get you on because we'll have a great, nice discussion about how piss form the Red Bull are going to be in at that point in time.
If you want to take this moment to plug your socials,
Oh, yeah,
whatever,
plug
go
the
for it.
shit. Please plug
Thank
the
you.
shit out of it.
Thank you. From one interrupter to another, I really appreciate the fact that you interrupted
Justin.
Justin from what he was trying to do just to bring me in. So I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you very
I
much.
was
Mr.
gonna bring
Interrupter.
you in at the end.
But he had
Just
to
give
jump the
it.
gun.
Let it breathe.
I think I'm gonna get my jerseys now. From now on, it's just gonna have interrupter number 2 on it.
There you
It's
go.
like-
There you go. So I get.
I know what
can
makes
give you a
me mad
t-shirt.
next
That's
week.
fine.
Kyle, if I don't make you mad every week, I'm gonna get really pissed off.
I actually had them this week, and you skipped me, so I know what
Oh,
makes me mad
shit.
next week.
Oh shit! I'm so sorry, Kyle.
Oh,
was
why is
just-
Kyle always happy? Gee, I don't know, because I don't go anyway.
To be fair, hold on. To be fair, Kyle, you have been happy the last few weeks, so I'm just assuming you're happy all the time now.
No, it's okay. I'll just go fuck myself.
He's
As long as he's got his PBR, I don't think he could be mad.
After that, so you can follow us on Benchwarmers FC on all social media. We have a podcast. We try right now to have an episode every Tuesday and Friday out. You can find us on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts by searching Benchwarmers FC. We have a YouTube channel. You can find us on Benchwarmers FC TV and all social media at Benchwarmers FC 1.
It's literally my favorite podcast. You better go fucking do it.
Thank you. We appreciate your support.
I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you because you're an interrupter number 2.
This is all I've ever wanted in life. I just wanted someone to call me interrupter. So I'm interrupter number 2, and this is like, you ever watch
No, Matt, you're
First,
number one.
you're last.
You ever watch Austin Powers? Hello, Dr. Evil. I'm number 2. So
Okay.
when Marco takes over the world, I'm gonna be the guy in the chair next to him with the eye patch.
Gotcha. Mini-me.
Good night, everybody.
Can I wrap this one up?
Yes, you
I
can.
mean, you can if you want.
I think we already did it. Episode 9 in the books. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and all the other fun places that we put our podcast on.
I promise
We'll
to
add
talk to you if you
Benchwarmers
message
and
us.
Marco to the show notes. Thanks for joining us. Peace out.
Later.
Bye. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Post and Pints. If you want to join in on the conversation or follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, that's at Post and Pints Podcast. And remember, the banter is free, but the beer is not included. Drink responsibly.